What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Sports Shack. My name is Brandon G. Natali, along with a good buddy of mine, Dennis Tui. It's been a great weekend. Hope everybody had a great Memorial Day weekend. Sorry we couldn't go. We couldn't record last week or go live, but here we are. Now we're going live. We get some viewers, and so we'll see where that goes. I know the Mets looking good. They took 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers, which is pretty good. The Yankees lost a game against the Rockies, but they still took the series. Rockies, who are not looking like the best team in baseball right now, probably the worst. Might be on pace to be the worst ever. Might be beat the White Sox's record last year as the White Sox went. They went 39 and 121. They just broke the Mets record, right?
I'll take your word for it.
I believe that's what happened. I know the Mets had the record. They were 40 and 120 when they first started. That was their inaugural season. And then the White Sox, I believe, took over that record. I actually went to the White Sox-Mets game on Tuesday. Surprisingly, saw a White Sox fan. Not trying to shade them, but like I said, it's hard, you don't see a lot of White Sox fans in New York, especially. Yeah, he's actually a nice guy too. He's a good guy. We'll get into that in a minute. The New York Knicks, who surprisingly everybody thought they were going to take the series against the Pacers. Tyrese Halliburton said otherwise, and channeling his inner Reggie Miller from back in 1994, 95, and throughout the whole 90s. And now the Knicks face themselves down elimination in Game 5 tonight. I believe that game is tonight. So
8 o'clock.
That's going to be really interesting to watch at the Garden. I know our boy Andrew Aroso. I'm sure you remember him.
Yeah, of course.
He's a good gym buddy of mine. He goes to my gym. Really great guy. Really nice guy. He's also a nurse as well, so shout out to our nurses. Huge diehard Knicks fan.
Mm-hmm.
He's been to at least a couple of the playoff games. I think he was at Game 1 where he saw Halliburton do the choke sign and send the game into overtime when they really should have won it. We're going to dive into that later. The Oklahoma City Thunder took over and are now Western Conference champions. They are now heading to the NBA Finals for the first time since 2012. The first time since Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden were on the team back in 2012. That was a very good team back then. I remember watching that. And that was a good finals too, watching the Heat. That was when I was a Heat fan back in the day as a kid, when I was a LeBron fan. Now I'm a Knicks fan. But we're going to get into that in a second. And all said and done, I feel like the Oklahoma City Thunder are going to win it. Like I said, we're going to dive into that later. But hopefully if the Knicks make it, somehow, some way, of course, yes, I'm going to want the Knicks to win it. But overall, just a lot going on in sports. And now in hockey, I believe the Hurricanes just got eliminated. I believe Edmonton just made it to the Stanley Cup. Let's take a look.
I definitely saw Florida clinched. I don't know how the Edmonton series.
Florida did clinch, and
I don't think Edmonton did yet. They didn't. They're playing tonight at 8 on ESPN
against the Dallas Stars.
Yep, still going.
So that's really interesting. There's just a lot going on in sports.
Yeah.
But now I think we should, before we get on to baseball, we definitely should talk about real quickly what's been going on in basketball. The Knicks. It's definitely having New York quiet. And I know it's definitely not been easy. It's not been fun. They usually should have took Game 1. That was abysmal. That was atrocious, the way they choked that lead. That was the biggest choke I've probably seen since the 28-3 Falcons-Patriots, Super Bowl loss, or Super Bowl comeback that the Patriots had. But the Pacers, man, they were just hitting threes left and right. No matter what, they were shooting the ball, they were going in. They were making their shots. The Knicks, I guess they got too comfortable. They got too lackadaisy. And when that shot went in to go into overtime, I thought they lost that. But after seeing the replay, luckily it was a 2. The Knicks couldn't take advantage in overtime, and yeah, that was it. The Pacers got an early 2-0 start.
Yeah, so I'm sorry about that, audience, and to you, Brandon. We're live today. Hello to our extended audience, and I was posting stuff on social media to get try and get us going here.
Oh, thank you.
And it's just a lot going on in the world of sports here, and going on to the Pacers. sorry, going on to the Pacers series, Aaron Nesmith, mama, there goes that man. What a run for him. 8 threes in the third quarter and on. And they go to the overtime, and the Pacers had all the momentum. They take that game. It's a really good series, and I think Knicks fans going into it, I work with a bunch. We all talk sports. It's retail, baby. It's all you do. Yeah. And everybody I knew none of them were nervous about the Pacers, and I kept saying, I was like, guys, be careful. Be careful. All they kept saying was, well, last year we were hurt. We took them to 7. This should be no problem. Be careful.
Yes.
You guys aren't realizing they weren't completely healthy last year either. I understand Benedict Mathurin isn't the same as the guys the Knicks didn't have, but that's a huge off-the-bench presence for them. That wasn't a good score until this last game, but, think of the minutes he played, that now those guys had to be overworked that entire run. So, like, the little things like that you take for granted, and this year the team is better. And they lure teams like the Knicks and the Cavaliers into their fast-paced style, and it's easy to get comfortable with it.
Sure.
It's easy to keep wanting to play that fast kind of run and gun, old-school Suns style when, your shots are going in and, oh, wow, everything I'm shooting is going in because nobody's playing defense, and then they tighten it up. It's like a trap. Then they tighten it up. And then teams like the Knicks and the Cavaliers, which didn't – Knicks not so much, but the Cavaliers, who didn't have a lot of turnovers all year, I mean, they cut through the Cavs like a hot knife through butter. Number 1 team in the Eastern Conference, and, I mean, really just punked them. So – and I understand that Darius Garland wasn't healthy, but if you think Darius Garland being healthy affected that series, you didn't watch it. Right. I mean, they were just better at everything. And then they show up to the Knicks, and the Knicks, let's be honest, if we're saying like a luck factor, right, with the Knicks, high. That Celtics series, high. Tatum getting hurt didn't affect anything, in my opinion. Those first 2 games, you can't be too mad if you're a Knicks fan. You can't.
I think it's just, as a Knicks fan, I think it's just tough.
Right, but you get here, you play who's in front of you. Right, I get it. And it's the Knicks. It's not like you guys win every year. I get it. However, you're going up against a team that is a well-oiled machine. They have an identity. They have a culture. They have a strategy.
Rick Ross,
and they stick to it.
Great coaching,
They stick to it. And they do the same things constantly. All right, fine. We're going to try to run you off the court. We're going to throw 10 guys at you. So you don't want to see Tyrese Halliburton? Fine. TJ McConnell, you're in. Run the offense. Pass. And he's doing all like the classic Steve Nash under the basket, turn the defense around to get an open look, all that classic strategy that those run and gun teams always do, and it's working. It's working. They don't have to blow out the Knicks. They just got to stay close. In crunch time, the Knicks have Brunson, and they have
big body Brunson,
Bridges. The rest of the Knicks in crunch time offensively haven't really done much. The Pacers, Pascal Siakam, second best player on a championship winning team. Aaron Nesmith, Halliburton, Miles Turner, his entire career has been a Knicks killer. Every Knicks fan knows it. He's been a Knick killer forever and a day. So that's a big one. Like this series, like if you're the Knicks, another thing that has to stand out is that your depth isn't what it was. Isn't what these other teams have. And the Celtics, same thing. Like the Celtics, their depth should have been deeper than the Knicks, and it wasn't for whatever reason. Sam Hauser was hurt. Porzingis, whatever happened there. And, it's eventually caught up with the Knicks. It happens. Now, teams have come back from down 3-1 in the past, and I'm not saying it's impossible for the Knicks. I could definitely see it happening. But they're my winner pick before the season started. You remember, and I have faith that you guys could get it done. Will it happen? I doubt it. I think the Pacers are really good, and I think the Thunder are there waiting for them, and everybody's going to pick the Thunder, and I might pick the Pacers. There's something about them. They're really.
Yeah, no,
And the other thing is that you talked about Tyrese Halliburton. I just want to give you some of his stats from that game real quick before I move on to other stuff, because he really was incredible. But there's one thing that stood out to me so much more than everything else, and it's not getting talked about, in my opinion, as much as it should. So Halliburton, should have been his son. 32 points, great. 15 assists, great. 12 rebounds for a point guard, great. 5 for 12 from 3, not bad. 5 for 6 from the free throw line, not bad. 11 for 23 from the field, not bad. 0 turnovers. When you're playing at that kind of pace that they're playing at and you're not turning the ball over, that's huge. As a team, they had 11 turnovers. The Knicks had 17 in this game. It was a 9-point difference in the game. It was close up until about 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and then the Pacers pulled away. That's going to be the difference. The Pacers, they can play at that. They're so used to playing at that pace, and they can slow it down. It's not that they're, you slow the Pacers down. I think that's a false narrative. You slow them down, and they're still fine. I'm not even looking at the TV. I don't need this. It's just going to hurt my eyes.
yeah.
But, this is something that you're going to have to keep an eye on if you're a Knicks fan, because I think going into the season, the vibe around the Eastern Conference was, if you get through Boston, you get through the East. You got through Boston, and now there's a whole other buzzsaw that you ran into, and your team is relatively healthy.
Right. It's just, I think a lot of people underestimated the Pacers. I didn't. Even me as a casual can even tell you that the Pacers crushed the Knicks and the Pacers. They have a history in the playoffs.
They're here for a reason.
It's a rivalry that not a lot of people talk about. After what happened in the 90s, now you date back to 2012, 2013, when they lost in 6 in the semifinals, the Melo team back in the day. Now, obviously, you look at last year, they weren't healthy, but they still took them to 6. But 7, like you said, they're better this year than they were last year. And like you said, they sliced and diced the Cavaliers like it was nothing. So I think for the fact a lot of Knicks fans looked at the Pacers and they're like, oh, they're easily going to take them to 5. They're going to take them at 6. It wasn't the case. And I think Game 1 definitely showed that. So I feel like a lot of people are shocked at what happened. I'm not. I'm not shocked of the, that the Pacers are up 3-1 right now. They're a great team. I don't know why a lot of people thought it was going to be easy. The Knicks are, playing great and they're on a good stretch, like the Pacers are, sure. But at the same time, the Pacers, like you said, are the better team probably at the end of the day. Because, at the players they have, the coaching and the culture, everything they have. Not saying the Knicks don't have that, but at the same time, they're just a better overall team. And I feel like a lot of people underestimated the Pacers, especially for how they've been playing. So, like you said, Miles Turner, Knicks killer. Tyrese Halliburton, a leader, and just been overall, when they needed him, he's been clutch. So, the series is not over, but the Knicks just made it way tougher for them. And so, Game 5 tonight's definitely going to be interesting at the Garden. It's going to be interesting to see how that's going to be. It was the last broadcast on TNT. Because I know next year they're going to be switching to NBC, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. I forgot about that. So I'll certainly be watching tonight when I get home.
Oh, it's the Thursday. It is the last broadcast, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was Tuesday.
Well, this series is. If this series ends tonight, it would be the last one.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess it's all relative.
That's right. It's all been on TNT. No, I definitely have watched it, throughout my, like I watched Shaq, Charles Barkley, Kenny the Jet Smith. But no, I definitely it's definitely was a part of our childhood too.
Mm-hmm.
But now overall, I don't think it's like I said, the Knicks just made it definitely tougher for them. But I wouldn't be surprised if they won tonight and the Pacers took it in 6. But no, the Pacers are just a good team.
A lot of game left.
If the finals is OKC and Indiana, I think it'd still be a great finals. And to think of it, either one of those teams could potentially could win their first championship, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it is cool. And this would happen again. Who did the... No, I'm thinking of something different. I'm thinking of a different sport. But yeah, man, I agree that that would be cool. And I think a lot of people are like, oh, they're two markets that nobody really cares about. But like, it's not LA and it's not Boston. And I'm happy about that. I think this is the first time that a team... Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
This is the first time that since the 90s that a team from the Western Conference didn't come from... that represented the Western Conference didn't come from... I think it's only like the third or fourth time. This Western Conference was the only Western Conference finals since the 90s that didn't have a team from Texas, California, or another state. I forget which one.
Chicago?
No, Western Conference.
Western Conference, okay.
It might just be Texas or California. I thought there was a third in there. I'm misremembering the stat. But
Miami, maybe Florida?
Western Conference.
Western Conference. Okay, Western Conference. I'm sorry.
It's okay. You don't want to be the history teacher. I do. You don't have to worry about geography. So it's... Yeah, I'll look it up because now it's going to bother me.
But yeah,
I forget which one it is.
It definitely would be good finals. And shout out to OKC. Like I said, they clearly show they were the better team than Minnesota. It sucks because I love Anthony Edwards and that team. Julius Randle and Dante. And everybody else on that team, but it just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah. All right. So this was the first time since 1996 that the Western Conference have not featured a team from California or Texas. I think that year it was Utah and Washington State. Seattle versus the Jazz, I think. 95-96. So interesting, man. Interesting that this is a new era. This is a new era of the sport, and there's other markets that are getting opened up, and I think it's great. The parity in the league is awesome. Yeah, it sucks that we don't have the super teams that we once have, but you know what? It shouldn't be easy. It should be a little more, I guess, like baseball, to kind of have more brand recognition. To see teams like the Pacers and to see teams like the Timberwolves and the Thunder and teams that, you haven't thought of in a while. And I'm happy for it. It's not the same old. Like Orlando next year, they're going to take, a quantum leap. And, this is a new era. I feel like this era of basketball is very similar to kind of like the 70s, the late 70s, where it's like you didn't know who was going to win. Seattle made it back-to-back years. Portland had a nice run there before Bill Walton got injured and they had other injuries.
Yeah.
Like there's other teams outside of California, Texas, and Massachusetts and Florida. So, it's fun. It's a fun time. And I just root for good TV. If the Knicks come back, awesome. If they don't, c'est la vie, you move on. Indiana can hopefully get their first NBA championship. They got a few in the ABA with Fred McGinnis and the boys. And who was it Freddie Brown on that team? I forget. But George McGinnis, excuse me. And it's just, I keep saying but I'm excited. I'm very excited. Now, let me ask you something.
Okay.
The Thunder, they absolutely annihilated the Timberwolves last night. Do you want to talk about that? Or do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think we dived into the Pacers and Knicks. Well, we should,
Okay. The Thunder are moving on. You didn't clap. Okay.
I was clapping. I just clapped.
Oh, you did? I was on a different screen, so I didn't hear it. And a tail of the tape. I was out last night, and I was at a karaoke place, so I didn't watch the game. I was at a bar that it just happens to be a karaoke night. No, I didn't sing, and yeah, if I did sing, however, I was telling you before the broadcast, live in the Vida Loca, sexy back. And I usually start it off when I'm just a couple of drinks in, because I drove last night. A couple of drinks in, usually Right Round by Dead or Alive. Yeah, maybe Karma Chameleon. Yeah, by Culture Club. All right.
So I was singing more karaoke this Saturday. I was doing Papa Roach.
Really? Last resort.
I was out all day promoting the concert for Jones Beach. Well, for Connoisseur Media and for the show was at Jones Beach. So I figured why not end the night with Papa Roach? Why not, I said screw it. But either way, so you said you were out karaoke and then you were watching the game.
I didn't sing anything. I was watching it a little bit. That was after I went to a Cuban restaurant, which was delicious. Oh my God, Brandon, the empanadas. I know you are Colombian, half Colombian, right?
You're making me jealous right now.
You and the family. I'm telling you that place I sent you. I think I sent you the link for it. I'm telling you, you'll like it. Okay, sports. Minnesota Timberwolves versus Oklahoma City Thunder, and another game when Julius Randle plays okay. Anthony Edwards struggles. When Anthony Edwards does well, Julius Randle struggles. And Anthony Edwards 7 for 18 in this one, 1 for 7 from 3-point range, 4 for 6 from the free throw line, minus 29 plus minus. The whole team was minus just about, and 19 points total for Anthony Edwards. Jaden McDaniels 2 for 13 from the field, only 5 points. Rudy Gobert 1 for 1 from the field, 5 rebounds in 19 minutes of work. They scored 9 points as a team in the first quarter. Minnesota did. And off the bench, they didn't get too much aside from 11 points from Naz Reid. Actually, no, they actually did get quite a bit. Oh, I'm looking at minutes. I was like, oh, wait a minute. What happened here? 11 minutes from Terrence Shannon and a Rob Dillingham appearance, who was a very highly touted prospect going into last year's draft at 7 points. And I love this guy. He does not get a lot of time. I would love him on Phoenix. Center Luka Garza. He got some minutes in this one, 4 points, not bad. And then the Thunder. Here come the Rolling Thunder. 22 points for Chet Holmgren, 8 for 13 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3. Jalen Williams, 7 for 14, 19 points. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 34 points. Total over 75 points for the trio. Isaiah Joe, 3 for 3 off the bench from 3-point range. Isaiah Hartenstein, 5 rebounds, 8 points in 17 minutes. Alex Caruso, 24 minutes, 8 points, but a plus 13 plus minus. So you'll take that any day of the week. Really, this was a team. The team of the Oklahoma City Thunder won this game. And for all of you saying Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a foul merchant, 4 for 4 from free throw range, which is less shots than Anthony Edwards, but the same amount of takes. So how about that for your narrative? As the league MVP is looking to become the first scoring champion to win the NBA championship since Shaquille O'Neal did it in 1999-2000. So big deal. And he's looking to become the first MVP to win the championship since 2015 when Steph Curry did it for the Golden State Warriors for the 14-15 season. So a lot going on here, and they won this series pretty handily. I think this series went a little more as people expected. Thunder won game 1, 114-88. Won game 2, 118-103. The Timberwolves, howled back in game 3 at home in Minnesota, 143-101, and absolutely boat raced them. Then game 4, 3 days ago, 128-126. Thunder won a close one. And then the Thunder blew them out last night. So really only one close game in the series. Bad TV. We don't like that. Boo. Okay. I mean, I don't know what anybody expected. I think a lot of people like Anthony Edwards. He passes the ball. It's not like he's a ball hog. He gets double teamed a lot. Maybe they need another scorer alongside him and Randall. I don't know who you can get. People are saying that maybe Minnesota gets Kevin Durant. I saw Channing Frye say this, that's the spot for Kevin Durant. And it's like, as a Suns fan, I'm looking back at who we need to get. And it's like, I'm taking DiVincenzo, I'm taking Rob Dillingham, and I'm taking Luka Garza. And if you're going to give me Gobert or Randall, I'll take it. But I think that Garza kid, there's something there.
Mm.
So I would really like that in return. But probably going to give us like Nickeil Alexander-Walker. It's going to be a haul. You're not getting Kevin Durant for nothing. I'm handing you a championship. So maybe that's a idea for them. Maybe you want to go something a little less bombastic. Already in the Midwest. Actually, I'd say this is more bombastic. Already in the Midwest. There's talks of him getting traded. Giannis to Minnesota? It's a thought.
It could be.
It's a thought. Because you're gonna have to run through them, and you're gonna have to run through Denver next year if you're Minnesota. You got to see what the Suns are going to do. Devin Booker is still a very good shooting guard. They just got to figure out whatever they're figuring out.
It's definitely a very competitive league.
Very.
So I mean, this is 2 straight years they made it to the conference finals. But
yeah,
OKC was just a better team. I think when it's all said and done, I think OKC is going to win it.
I think they're going to win it. And I think I said it on here, or I said it on my college show, that I think it feels like the 05 White Sox, where it's just like this should have been obvious. They went end to end. They're always the best team in the league. Why didn't we ever think that they shouldn't just run away with it? But man, now that Denver Nuggets series, now that's starting to look way more impressive with what those guys were able to do with that team. Oh man, the fact that went 7 games, all anybody was talking about was the lack of depth. This, that, the other. They fired their coach right before the playoffs. They fired their GM right before the playoffs, and look at them. They took this team to 7 games. It's a blowout. And it wouldn't have changed anything had Aaron Gordon been healthy, but Aaron Gordon was very compromised, playing on a strained hamstring. Dude, the West is a bloodbath. I think the East is going to be way harder than people realize next year. Because Detroit, watch out. Orlando, watch out. Boston's going to take a 1-year regression without Tatum naturally. But if you're an NBA fan, you should be excited. I thought the 2010s, I think we're going to look back at the 2010s as a low point in NBA history, because it really was just the same 3 teams every year from each conference. It's like, all right, Golden State, San Antonio, and Houston, or Oklahoma City. It got a little stale. Yeah. Now you really don't know what's happening. Since 2019, you really don't know what's going to happen. I like it. It's fun. Fun. I hate it as a Suns fan, but you know me, I always say
listen.
I always say I root for television.
Root for television. What are you going to do?
What do you think? Do you think the Timberwolves, they can make any offseason moves, or do you feel like it's just going to be running through Oklahoma City for the next couple of years, as they still have a boatload of draft picks that they could acquire more talent?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I think it's like you said, because you mentioned Denver, you mentioned Phoenix, and then obviously, Minnesota. I think Denver caught there. I think as long as they got Joker, I think they're going to be fine.
Yeah,
it's going to be running through. They were doing good this year up until that happened. They lost in 7 to OKC. OKC was just a better team. It all depends on if it's your year or not. I think this year's, like I said, I think this year's OKC. Well, we shall see. Okay. Actually, real quick, actually, I'm gonna wrap it up because I want to get into some breaking news we do got on SportsShack. It has to do with something that a game we were at this year, me and you, also with Kevin Cruz. So first off, I want to say congrats to OKC. I think they're gonna win it, whether it's the Pacers or the Knicks. Hopefully, the Knicks, if they make it, could prove me otherwise. If the Pacers make it, hopefully they could. Well, not hopefully, but if they prove me otherwise, I'll admit that. But I think when it's all said and done, I think it's going to come down to OKC winning it all. They're going to host their first ever NBA Finals trophy, first ever Bill Russell trophy. Rest in peace to Bill Russell. But now I just got some breaking news. We should dive into hockey a little bit because the Capitals just announced that next year will be Ovechkin's final year. They just made it known to their season ticket holders as they just emailed it. So I think it's pretty cool because, like I said, we just saw Ovechkin break the record right in front of us. At UBS Arena for all-time career goals. So I think it's definitely interesting seeing him finally going to retire. So I guess, he's not going to try to go for 1,000, which would be a lot. There would be a lot on his body if he tried to go for 1,000 goals. First ever player to ever do that.
He could get it.
I mean, the way he was playing this year, scoring 40 goals at his age, maybe, but at the same time, he was chasing the record like it was chasing the Pirates gold.
What the?
So,
why did that autocorrect to that? I want to see his career goals. He's close. He's got to be close.
Nah, he would need like another 100.
Wait a minute. When he... I don't know. I'm still trying to find it. His career. I don't know why this is taking... Oh, yeah. I don't know why I thought he had 900. I thought he had 967. I didn't realize it was 800. I'm sorry. Yeah, I feel like an idiot. Wow. Way to go, sports boy. Yeah, how didn't I... like, I was there at the game. And I thought that he had 100 more. Yeah, okay. Yeah, not going to happen.
No, I don't think so. No matter what, I think at the end of the day, Ovechkin could retire knowing he's done a lot in his career. He don't need to prove anything. He definitely don't need to prove anything else. But I just thought that's crazy to see that, especially when it breaks right now. While recording, this will be his last year, next year. So I can't imagine the ticket prices then. Do you think we paid a decent price when we saw his goal, right?
We did, but it was so worth it.
No, 100%. We paid
it. Was so worth it. And the other thing is, like, we kind of struck when the iron was hot. Because I said a month before it happened, it could happen at that game. I was just looking at the pace.
I predicted it.
You did. Yeah, you did. I'm not saying like it was just me. I was just saying that, like, because we were talking about, like, do we want to go? Do we not want to go? And then we decided we were going to go with friends of ours, and then it's turned into one friend.
Yeah.
So
we did strike because ticket prices were kind of going up. They were going up because, like, it's the Capitals, it's Ovechkin, but then they finally went up. That Friday, I got worried he was going to score. I remember he tied it, and then he scored it at UBS. I got nervous. I remember I was out. I don't know what I was doing, but I got so nervous because I thought he was going to score in the final 2 minutes, but he didn't want to do it like that. He wanted to score his own way.
That's a real honorable way to do it. I like that.
Yeah.
So, hey, heck of a career, man. He's one of the greats. We'll see, like it's fine. Like, he's had nothing to, like, hang on for, but I'm mad that they couldn't win it for him this year. I mean, he's got his, but oh well.
Right. No, exactly. But
wonder how much time Crosby has left.
I have somehow seen Crosby when I was a kid.
Yeah, I got to start making it a point to see great players. Tell my kids about it, even though my memory is horrible and I don't.
I try to. I try. I've definitely seen some decent. Let's take a quick recap. I remember when I was a kid, my first ever Jet game, I saw Andre Johnson. I saw the Jets play the Texans. That's why I saw Andre Johnson. Arian Foster, he had like an all-pro year that year, especially the year before he was just an undrafted rookie. The next year, and then he all of a sudden rushes for like over 1,500 yards. Obviously Matt Shaw, Mario Williams. On the Jets, obviously Darrelle Revis, my favorite Jet of all time. I saw Alex Smith on the Chiefs before. Obviously great quarterback for all his time. Saw Tyreek Hill destroy the Jets that game, but the Jets ended up beating them. I like to say my favorite moment. I like saying I saw Andrew Luck his rookie year and his last year in the league.
That's
A legendary quarterback who left the game early for reasonable reasons. Now, I guess in terms of baseball, I saw the 2016 Cubs. A legendary team that broke the curse. I never got to see Jeter, but I like seeing, as a Mets fan, like I said, I'm not just a diehard Mets fan. I'm a diehard baseball fan. So I like telling people I saw Aaron Judge, seen A-Rod, all those, legendary Yankees, I never saw Jeter, though. I was supposed to see him. And I have a belief that in 2011, he was on the IL. He did something to his hamstring. I firmly believe if he didn't get hurt, he would have broke the record that day that I went. I went July 1st, 2011. Why I remember that, I wish I could tell you. But I saw the Yankees that day. That's when I saw Teixeira, A-Rod, Brett Gardner, Ivan Nova.
Whoa.
Yeah. Did that shock you?
Yeah. I saw Teixeira 2 games before he retired. But I could say, in terms of moments, I saw the Ovechkin moment and I saw the Trout versus Ohtani in the gold medal game.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's awesome. But to say like great players I've watched like across all sports, I have to kind of appreciate who I saw as they saw it. The only great hockey player I think I've seen is Ovechkin. Because I've only been to 3 games. I went to 1 Ranger versus Sharks game as a kid. I don't remember it. I'm not counting it. The Devils versus the Islanders. I don't think I saw any great players that game. Maybe Elias, maybe Yager was on the team, the Devils at the time. I don't remember. Because I don't remember it in the moment, I'm not counting it. But I saw Ovechkin. I saw Teixeira, his second to last game in Yankee Stadium. Not a great player. Very good, but not great. I've seen Juan Soto. I've seen Jacob deGrom. I've seen Max Scherzer. I saw Max Scherzer one of his worst starts as a National. And I saw one of Jacob deGrom's worst starts as a Met in the same year, 2019.
Keep going.
I've seen Mike Trout. I've seen Shohei Ohtani, obviously.
I saw Ohtani.
I saw Roki Sasaki. I don't think he's a great player. I think he has an affinity for great moments. I saw Randy Arozarena rob in the silver medal game, or I guess it would turn out to be the bronze medal game against Japan. So that was really cool, but like I didn't, again, not like a great player. I saw I've seen Aaron Judge, I've seen Stanton. I consider them great players. Paul Goldschmidt.
I love being able to say to I can't wait in the future to my grandkids, my kids. Hey, I'm 24, about to be 25, and I'm talking about grandkids. But I like being able to say I saw Aaron Judge. Like he's a legend. As a Mets fan, I love Aaron Judge. He's a great player, great human being. Like I remember telling kids now, I say to them, like, Aaron Judge, that's the player to look up to. A great role model and great player. I remember, that's why when I tell kids that.
I'm going to make a document about it.
Because
I did this. I don't know if you remember this. I did this in our group chat.
What's that?
Months ago. I made in our fantasy baseball group chat all the great players I've seen, but I lost it.
I remember
that. It's so deep that I'm not going to.
It's pretty deep in the chat. I don't know if I want to waste time.
NFL. I saw Larry Fitzgerald, I think. He's the only great NFL player I've seen in person. I've only been to 1 NFL game. Probably going to stay that way for a long time.
I got to get you to an NFL game.
NBA. Yeah.
But before that, we do got to talk about going to another baseball game. We should look up games.
Definitely.
I definitely want to get to. I was telling my friend Dylan, I definitely want to be able to go to the Subway Series at Citi Field. I couldn't. It's good I didn't go to the one at Yankee Stadium. I don't think I would have enjoyed it. It probably wouldn't have been a bad time, especially everyone.
You okay there?
Uh-oh. Okay, I'm back. I feel like everybody's focus was on Juan Soto and all that nonsense. I feel like it would have ruined the moment of the Subway Series. Like, can we all just enjoy the games without having to worry about one player? So I feel like it's probably going to be the same thing at Citi Field too. But I don't know. I'd rather be at the Subway Series at Citi Field than Yankee Stadium as a Met fan.
Yeah.
And then, but overall, so now I feel like we should dive into baseball real quick. It's good to see the Mets take 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. They should have won the third game, the first game that went into that game lasted till 1 a.m. That game they should have took. Amazing they came back the way they did. But obviously, like I said, taking 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers, I think that was pretty unique, pretty neat. Soto had a good second game. The past couple of games, he's been 0-14. I'm not too worried about him. I'm going to dive into Soto a little bit later. I think I like how they took 2 out of 3 against the White Sox. Not that bad of a team, but the White Sox, come on. The game that was good, the Tuesday's game, that was the game I was at. I managed to get on the Jumbotron.
Boy.
I was flexing the Knicks hat. I was like, let's go Knicks. And also, I knew it was coming because the camera was right there. So I knew it. So at least I could say that. But yeah, I was on the Jumbotron. But yeah, how the Yankees been doing? Can you update me on them? I know Jazz Chisholm came back.
They're doing phenomenal.
So the Mets.
They're doing phenomenal. I mean, there's no other way to say it. As I update my little list here, I sat down and really did think about it. All the great players I've seen. It's not a lot. I got to see more. Dude, they're doing great. Like, there's really no reason to complain. Yeah, they lost the game to the Rockies last week. What do I care?
That's crazy.
9-1 over there. Yeah, how are the White Sox treating you? 9-1 over their last 10 for the Yankees. 35-20 on the year. Second best team in the American League. Better than the Mets this year. And look at that.
Look at that, huh? Oh, nope, I'm not joining that now. So I have to decline that.
Yeah, I mean they lost one game to the Rockies to start that series. They won 5 straight. What am I complaining about? I don't care. They swept the Rangers. They took 2 from you guys. We didn't talk about it last week, but
the Subway Series definitely pissed me off. I remember when Bellinger hit that grand slam in the third game, I turned the TV off. I turned it off.
And it really is super, I don't know if I'd say ironic, but funny that Met fans kept bitching about Soto after that series. Not you so much because you're a little more reasonable. But Met fans keep bitching about Juan Soto. And who are the 3 Yankees that showed up the most in that series? Bellinger, Fried, Goldschmidt. They wouldn't have gotten them if they got Soto back with your own petard. So, we got those 3 for 1. Go ahead, take Juan Soto. And like I said, hoist with your own petard.
No, I'll gladly take Juan Soto. You sound like the Washington fan I was trying to joke with when we were at the Capitals game, Islanders Capitals. It's amazing. My dad would be, if I didn't tell my dad that, but my dad would yell at me, be like, "Why are you being like that? Don't be not." I'm like, I'm trying to joke. People don't have a sense of humor. Yeah. When I said to that Capitals fan, I was like, he had a Nationals hat on. I was joking with the guy. The guy knows. You can tell the guy had no sense of humor. It's definitely no fun at parties. He's definitely no fun at parties. I said to him, "I gotta get you a Mets hat." He's like, I was joking. He's like, "Oh yeah, I got my championship. I could live life happily. Enjoy Juan Soto." I'm like, I should have said to him, like, I will enjoy Juan Soto. He didn't want to be a National. He wanted to be a Met. So that would have showed him. So yeah, I will enjoy Juan Soto. We got him. Lindor, Piazza, Beltran. They all had horrible starts in the first years. Everybody's got to realize that Lindor did not have a great first year. Did better his second year. You look at Piazza. He struggled the first month and 2 with the Mets. Everybody was booing him, and then they ended up having a great year. And he signed one of the biggest deals at the time in baseball. I'm not worried with Soto. This is what's going to come with it, So I'm not worried. I will enjoy Juan Soto. Dennis, thank you.
Yeah. No, listen, I'm not one of those people like, ha, 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 Soto's not doing well, ha, 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 because he's really not. If you look at the expected batting average, ex-WOBA, things like that, a lot of the expected metrics, he's the unluckiest hitter in the league. He's getting good contact. He's getting frequent contact, and they're just turning into outs. at almost like an alarming rate. Like it's just shit luck. It is. It comes to a point where there's just bad luck in baseball. It happens. It happens, man. Like I'm not gonna whine about it too much. And I do have my updated list because you said Beltran and Lindor, and it made me realize this. Like, I'll add them. Consciously left out Alonso. Consciously left out David Wright. I think he's a great Met. I don't know how great of a player he is.
Okay.
To be considered to be a great player by me is Hall of Fame or Hall of Fame caliber in your sport. So I have Jose Altuve on there. But I don't have any other Astro. I'm pretty strict with this right here. I have Trout, Ohtani, Judge, Betts, Freeman, Scherzer, DeGrom, Soto, Diaz, Soto twice actually, Stanton, Altuve, Arenado, Goldschmidt, Beltran, Lindor. I all remembered watching them play. Larry Fitzgerald is like an almost. I'll have to double check that. Alex Ovechkin, and then the NBA, Kevin Durant, Jimmy Butler, Devin Booker, and I'm pretty sure Jalen Brunson played on the Knicks in 23. But again, I'll have to fact check that one. I could have sworn I remember him playing that game. But yeah, not nearly as much as I think people would realize.
But either way.
But hey, man, I get to say I saw Soto as a Met and as a Yankee. No, actually, that's not true. I don't think I saw him as a Yankee.
No, you did.
Look it up.
Remember?
No, I don't. I don't think he played.
He should have, right?
For whatever reason, I don't remember him playing.
I'm gonna look it up now for you. I'm gonna look it up for you. But no, overall, I think the Mets have definitely picked it up. Their offense has definitely been better. Their offense had a bad slump for at least a week and a half, and now I think they kind of picked it up, especially against the Dodgers. That was definitely needed. Then obviously against the White Sox. The last game against Boston, it's glad they at least took it. They didn't get swept by them. But overall, do they play tonight? I'm trying to see. Let me see if they play tonight.
Half the league is not playing tonight.
I don't think the Mets are playing tonight.
More than half the league. Hardly anybody is. So if you play fantasy baseball, now is the time to get some points back. There are 5 games today. Atlanta and Philly play twice. A's, Toronto, Tampa, Houston, Washington, Seattle.
They're off today, and they go against the Rockies, and then they travel to the West Coast. That's going to be fun. I'd be fun. Maybe I'll stay up and watch loving this late night baseball. That week. It's going to be interesting. And then they come back. So I'm overall happy with the Mets. It's definitely tough because the Phillies came back. Now the Mets are 2 games back now from first place. Philly, who knew they were going to get hot? Nobody was worried about them. It was Atlanta that everybody was kind of roasting. Because Atlanta was kind of had a very awful stretch to start the year. But yeah, so no, and at least the Yankees are doing good. And we'll see. Hopefully, I'm excited for the Mets to get Sean Manaea back. And Frankie Montas. I'm really ready for just Sean Manaea. I really could care about Frankie Montas. Hopefully he shocks me.
Is Sean Manaea playing tomorrow?
I'm not sure. Let me look it up.
No, it's David Peterson.
David Peterson. I'm ready for him to come back.
So they don't have Sunday's matchups here.
Okay, they said Manaea is scheduled to throw a live bullpen session. And then Jose Siri will be one of the hitters. Let's go for Jose Siri. So
that must be. Oh, I'm sorry. Continue.
Manaea's been progressing well over a handful of successful bullpen sessions, and now appears to set his next step among group of hitters. Yes, he was set to face hitters. And Jesse Winker, on the other hand, is progression a bit slower. That's good. I'm ready for Sean Manaea. I want Sean Manaea to come back. Because he really is the Mets ace when you look at it.
Yeah, I mean, he's not bad. He was really good for you guys last year. And you know who said he was going to be good?
You.
Yeah, me.
You did say it. You said it. Hey, you said it.
I know ball. I know ball.
You do. You do know ball. You do. Let's see. Yeah, he was great for them. That's what David Stearns, he does. He signs these low ball pitchers and he the pitching farm turns him into Tom Seaver.
Yeah. I'm excited to see him pitch again for you guys.
Yeah, because the Mets need it. I mean, granted, they do need it, but they don't. They've been able to hold on to Griffin Canning, Kodai Senga, Tyler McGill, David Peterson. Like, they've been able to. Clay Holmes. They've been pitching pretty good, but they're going to get star power now in these players. So I'm excited. But yeah, is there anything else in baseball you want to talk about? Because I feel like we talked about it enough.
I don't know if I'm missing anything. I'll take a look. Like if there's any breaking news or something like that I missed. Tim Anderson got sent down from the A's. He got designated for assignment. His career is probably over.
Yeah, poor guy.
Ronel Blanco having elbow surgery done for 2025. He was horrible this year. So that makes sense. I wish him a speedy recovery. MLB purchasing equity stake in fledgling Athletes Unlimited Softball League, a professional softball league. I guess becoming kind of like the WNBA equivalent to the NBA or to the MLB. Robert Stevenson pitched for the Angels. He's back, reliever. After signing a 3-year, $33 million contract with the Angels, he finally made his start. He had a lot of injuries over the last couple of years, so. All right, Tariq Schoolboy had his first complete game this week. Excellent. He apparently had more wins above replacement in his one game earlier this week, Tariq Schoolboy, than the entire Orioles starting rotation. Like combined. Not combined, but like individually, he had more WAR in one game than they had at all. Yeah, the only thing is I haven't watched enough Orioles. I haven't had time. I have to kind of grind back with baseball aside from the Yankees and Mets because I had school and whatnot. That I don't know what's going on with the Orioles, man. Ugh. I mean, they're horrible. They're horrible. I don't even think they have 20. Did they have 20 wins yet?
I don't think so.
No, they don't. They have 19. This was a team that was hoping to be playing for a championship this year.
I guess not.
They have the second to worst run differential in the league, only behind the historically bad Colorado Rockies. Even the A's have a better run differential, and the Marlins. It's terrible. They thought they were playing for a championship. Now they're playing for a first overall pick.
What are you going to do?
Yeah. What are you going to do? No, well.
I think I got to get going, so I think it's
okay.
All right. I'm coming, Sadie. All right. Thank you to everybody for joining our live and for tuning in to another episode of SportsShack. Again, my name is Brandon G. Natali. A great buddy of mine, Dennis Tui. Hope everybody has a great day. And let's go Mets. Let's go Jets. Let's go Knicks.
Let's go Yankees. Stop with that. Let's go Jets. What are they doing? They're in the offseason. Let's go Yankees, huh?
And let's go Islanders.
They're not playing.